YM goes on to say, do you know of any case that there were undue influence among wife and husband? It seems like you guys, kind of touched upon this, but have you seen anything like it?
So there's a seminal case.
I guarantee you, Stuart and I are thinking of the same thing right now. Go ahead.
There's a seminal case, Lentz versus Lentz, and I don't remember, it was 2014 or 13 or somewhere in there, but Lentz has been overturned by statute, I believe, to some extent, and so you have to read that case carefully. Keith and I were very happy when Lentz versus Lentz came out because it gave us the roadmap for attacking a spouse when you're going after them for undue influence. And there's family code provisions. I think it's Family Code 721 or something like that talks about the fiduciary relationship between spouses. I hate saying spouses because it should really be spices if we're being correct in the English language. But anyway, when there's this fiduciary relationship, and I think, though, from my gut, what I think based on our experience in dealing in going after spouses in blended family situations, the court almost always sides with the surviving spouse. And I think the surviving spouse in these cases gets a little bit more influence, maybe not quite slam dunk undue influence against the husband. But I think they're given a little bit more rope to work with than, say, a sibling or anybody of another type of relationship other than a spouse. So spouses get a lot of room to talk with their other spouse, the deceased spouse, about what they want. They can even encourage them to leave money to themselves, to their children, or to whatever. And it won't be that big of a deal. Whereas if a sibling did that, that would be something that may be worth looking further into. What do you think, Keith?
Or a neighbor or a caregiver, something that's unnatural. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, is when you have something unnatural, it's more suspect than when it's, objectively just natural. But yeah, the great thing when Lentz came out, the great thing about it at the time is it raised a presumption of undue influence as between spouses because of the fiduciary duty that spouses owe to each other. But that was later overturned by statute. So now that is not a presumption of undue influence. And so it was encouraging because Lentz was the first case that at least gave us some ammunition on these cases where you have stepchildren and you could at least have something to show that maybe the spouse did unduly influence the other spouse. That's changed now because of the statute that took that away. But Lentz is still an instructive case, and it's certainly one that we would cite to and look at if we had this situation, for sure.
Let me give YM just some examples of cases we've had in the past where we've had this blended family situation and we're going against the surviving spouse. What evidence are we looking for, Keith? We're looking for evidence that there's a pre-existing estate plan that consistently gives to the children, his children, and also provides for the spouse. And it's consistent for a number of years. And then there's a change that is made 2 or 3 or 4 days before the person passes away while they're in the hospital with a tube down their throat, coming out of anesthesia. A lawyer is summoned by the wife. There's emails, contemporaneous emails between the wife and the lawyers, where the wife is instructing him what to put in, the lawyer to put into the trust. That case now starts to make sense that, hey, we're going to bring that forward. And by the way, that case will settle 99 times out of 100 just because the wife, that evidence is just so overwhelming at that point in time. The wife has to settle. But even then, you have to be careful because these are the most favored beneficiaries, in my opinion, are spouses. And so you have to be very careful as you play that game.
Yeah, there certainly could be some examples like that where, you have some facts that help you out.